So the DNC convention's happening here in Chicago. First of all, shout out to Matt Weinglass. I do hope to find him on the ground there. But yes, all of us here in this wonderful, beautiful photo will be covering the DNC convention. And so Matt Weinglass is going to be here. Shout out to him. He posted this. And hey, look, there's that handsome fellow Kit Cabello from Hard Lens Media. So we got the Gray Zone, RBN, Do Dissidents, Hard Lens Media, Convo Couch, Pasta to Go, and so many others. Chicago's going to be live and direct. There we go. And it's everything's going to be happening here. And huge shout out to these wonderful, beautiful people that are actually going to be here covering the DNC convention. So what are we in store for? Well, first of all, I want to play this video.
If you look behind me over my shoulder, you'll notice those fences and snowplows in place. We've actually watched all morning as they have started to bring in more metal fencing, more barricades, and these snowplows have been kind of navigating around those barricades and getting into place around the UC. Take a look at some of this video we got earlier this morning. You can see a lot of cars have been turning around already as they're met with these new closures that have been set in place overnight and early this morning.
I love democracy. Like, I wish I was going to the convention, but for the neighborhood, there's been like no communication and very little engagement of the people who are.
Yeah, well, of course, there's not going to be any communication with you. You are not in the high echelon of society. You must follow orders and stay in line.
Are closest to it. The parking restrictions have changed 3 times in the last week on our block, and no one's like communicated to us that the protest route actually goes right in front of our building.
And that resident telling us that most of the information he's gotten actually is coming from us or other local news outlets. He says his hopes are that over the next few days, there's more direct communication from area law enforcement or even from the Secret Service. And really his concerns, Mugo Adrina, have been echoed by a lot of drivers and neighbors we've talked to in this area this morning. A lot of frustrated drivers, to say the least. We know security will just continue to get tighter as we approach opening day on Monday.
And before even today started, there was actually the first permitted protest yesterday on Sunday. So first of all, here's what happened. By the way, we've all been seeing these wonderful propaganda pieces. Forward with Kamala right there. The memes and response to these posters have been absolutely glorious. The first permitted demonstration scheduled to coincide with the Democratic National Convention in Chicago this week is kicking off Sunday afternoon in the Loop. The protest is scheduled to begin at 5 p.m. local time Sunday as delegates and political figures begin arriving to the city ahead of the convention, which officially begins Monday. The march will begin on Michigan Avenue and Wacker Drive. According to group organizers, local news organizations reported that the demonstrators will head towards Logan Statue by East 9th Street into Grant Park, walking a total of 1.5 miles. The March for Bodies Outside of Unjust Laws is organized by a national coalition of activist groups advocating for bodily autonomy on issues regarding from abortion access, LGBTQ rights, and safeguarding Palestinian lives in Gaza. An organizer of the march, Linda Lowe, told the Associated Press that the push for reproductive safety is international, and marchers will also protest the money that the U.S. spends overseas that could be used for healthcare at home. Now, of course, there's been a couple of protests happening. But why do they always end up in front of Trump Tower? I mean, seriously, why do they end up there? Of all places to show up, of all places to go, you go to Trump Tower. Case in point right here, playing this video. Now, of course, this is from the post-millennial. They were actually able to cover it just a little bit, but folks, it didn't have to be this way. Why?
Vice President Harris.
Look, the reason why I'm kind of annoyed that's in front of Trump Tower is because I've covered numerous protests in front of that building. And again, this was during the Trump administration. And every single protest that we covered when Hard Lens Media got started in 2017, somewhere in the downtown area, and then boom, ending up right in front of Trump Tower. And look, I get it. I get it that the DNC convention, access to it or protesting in front of it. There's a lot of restrictions, but it's always Trump Tower. And after a while, it just gets annoying. But that's just my own personal bias, my own personal annoyance. It always ends up in front of Trump Tower.
We hear your shift in tone, but I'm here to tell you, your tone will not resurrect the dead. Your tone will not shelter the living. Your tone will not pull bombs out of the sky. Your tone is not enough. Genocide Joe would still be on the ticket if it were not for this movement, for all of us. Our movement is one of the main reasons that you are now the Democratic candidate for president in the most powerful country on the planet.
Well, actually, it's more of Joe Biden revealing his wazoo in front of the entire free world as he stuttered and stammered in his debate against Donald Trump. I mean, yes, there were a lot of people who were calling on Joe Biden to resign. However, again, it just wasn't just one group. It was a factor of issues, most notably Joe Biden revealing his inability to keep a sentence together.
You, Vice President Harris, get to run for office because we ousted your predecessor right here in these streets. And it was never just about him. It was about the 40,000 Palestinians he helped kill. And now you are telling us that not the other guy is a platform. We are telling you that you have to actually earn our votes. And we are telling you exactly how to earn them. We are telling you we want a weapons embargo. We are telling you we want a permanent ceasefire. And we are telling you that we want them now. Where do we want it? Where do we want it? Chicago, where do we want it? You keep telling us that democracy itself is on the line. You keep telling us that fascism is knocking at the door. You keep telling us that Trump would be worse. That the majority of Americans in poll after poll say they disapprove of Israel's actions in Gaza. Study after study shows that a weapons embargo would earn you more votes, would secure you this election. So, Vice President, why are you risking the end of democracy, the rise of fascism, the return of Trump to protect Netanyahu's war on children? You are not the protector of democracy. We are the protectors of democracy. If you want to see democracy, look to Chicago streets this week. We are democracy speaking back to power. Saying we will not be ignored. We want to house our unhoused. We want to feed our hungry. We want to heal our sick.
And none of those policies are on Kamala's campaign website. In fact, hey, let's play the game for this recording. Let's go ahead and see if we actually have any updates. Let's go ahead, pull this up here. Still asking for money. Still asking for money. Still nothing. Let's go ahead and refresh the page one more time. No, nothing. Still see nothing. And look, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden had 3.5 years to make things better. The only reason why Kamala is up there right now is because basically the Democrats realized that they ran a piss poor primary on purpose. They were hoping that no one would notice that Joe Biden was a senile old goat, because that's how little they think about us. What makes you think it's going to be any different with Kamala? I mean, she's seeing these protests. She might see these protests, but you know what she's going to tell you to do? Be quiet. I'm speaking. Let's play the rest of this video.
We want to guard our planet. We want to build our future, not rob us as children of theirs. the future of this country. That is not true. We make the future of this country. We make it where we've always made it. We make it right here on the streets. Vice President, you have a choice. You can join a movement for justice. You can make a place for yourself in history. You could be a leader who chose to listen to her people rather than the interests of the war manufacturers. Or you could become a war criminal. Ms. Harris, if you want Donald Trump to win, then say that.
Okay, that's actually pretty badass right there. But nonetheless, hey, no matter what happens to all those protesters, the DNC is still going to boo you away. Case in point, this short 23-second video right here.
Y'all can do better than that. Mike, the money!
150,000 people are dead. You are funding a genocide. The Harris-Biden administration keeps owing money to Israel.
They're going to still kick you off the stage. They're still going to do that. And of course, as always, the Democrats, though, came up with a big plan. Here's how they're going to win back voters. This was done yesterday. Putting on Trump Tower, Project 2024, or 2025 to be more precise. Here we go. Let's close that out. Project 2025 HQ. They're projecting it right there on the building. That's what Democrats are going to do to earn the vote, by projecting the fears of Donald Trump, the danger of Donald Trump, right there at Trump Tower, where all the protests will always end up. You know, my soul could use a milkshake after all this, but what can we look forward to from this convention? What can we expect to see? Well, I just want to pull up just a couple of things here. And this is from The Hill. First of all, how disruptive are the protests? Some level of protest activity is typical for the party's nominating convention, as they often attract those most passionate in favor and opposed to a party or specific candidate. But more attention than normal has been paid to potential protest activity throughout the convention amid the split in the party over the Israel-Hamas war and the Biden administration's handling of the conflict. The split was almost prominently on display through a protest vote that occurred during the Democratic primaries. Case in point, the uncommitted voters. How does Harris do? Harris has quickly coalesced Democrat support behind her candidacy, or was it forced because finally corporate media was able to pull up another candidate that they could, form a shield wall around, because their shield wall around Biden failed spectacularly because, let's face it, Biden's greatest opponent was Biden's mental decline. So, yes, they're trying to make us all forget. Do the Democrats stay on script? Oh, they've always had a script, and that is, if you don't vote for us, you're a bad person. If you don't vote for us, you're supporting Trump. If you don't vote for us, you must want fascism to win. That's the script that the Democrats have. And how do the speakers address the Israel-Hamas war? You know what they're going to say? Word salad. There, simple. No need to read this part. And are there any big surprises? I don't know. Maybe there might be a surprise or two. I'd be surprised to see the entire Democratic convention, the DNC delegates, all get on the stage and publicly apologize to the American people, saying, "Jolly gee willikers, we are so sorry that we had a rigged primary. We did not once, but twice, but 3 times, and yet here we are. Here we are, everybody. Please support us. And if you don't support us now as we apologize, then that makes you still a bad person." And see, I would be surprised if the Democrats did something like that. But no, the Democrats are incapable of human thought and human emotion because they are neoliberal politicians and they're expecting everyone to fall in line. So to the uncommitted voters, to all the protesters out there, keep on protesting, keep on calling it out. We here at Hardlens Media, we're going to be covering the DNC convention. I'm not expecting anything earth-shattering to happen, but no matter how this convention plays out, Democrats, Every single move you make is going to be critical for you guys if you want to win in November. Voter turnout's going to be key. But the way liberals keep giving a middle finger to progressives and to all these activists and organizers, it's probably going to blow up in their face, as it should. But then again, too, this is a quick question to these activists and protesters that we will be interviewing on the ground for this convention. Are you going to have follow through? Are you going to, I don't know, get bullied, potentially bullied into supporting Trump, not Trump, but Kamala Harris to stop Donald Trump? I mean, I saw it happen in 2020. I saw the entire campaign that the Vote Blue, no matter who sphere was doing. I'm seeing so many actors and actresses, celebrities of the highest level, be they internet celebrities or television and movie celebrities, telling us that we have to fall in line and vote blue no matter who. I want to pull up this tweet right here because, again, so many people are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. And I think it's very good that we pull up one of our tweets from Hard Lens Media because we've been talking about this. We've been covering this. And I've been saying, folks, that people are going to lose their ability to think critically. And I just want to pull up this tweet right here. And this is a response that we did here at Hard Lens Media just earlier this weekend. And we retweeted this because here's Fat Tony. You know, Kamala Harris' proposals are truly populist because corporate media caught feelings over it. When right-wing media and mainstream media both start piling on, that means you touched a corporate nerve. To which we responded, the fact that you still believe that Democrats or even Kamala will fight for progressive policies is childish. You believe their lies like a kid thinking Santa's real. You are not a serious person. I don't know what's going to be happening for the entire 4 days of this DNC convention. We will be collaborating with other great content creators and members of independent media. But I do know one thing. This is going to be one hell of a show, and Hard Lens Media is going to be on the ground to cover it.